The hum of my ranch's generator cuts through the midnight quiet as I inspect the equipment shed, flashlight beam dancing over the RV's chassis. It's past 1 a.m., the Silver Ridge Ranch house dark behind me, but sleep's not coming easy with the quarterly logistics review on my mind. I'm Elias Ford, 46, retired, logistics expert, spent years optimizing supply chains for global firms, routing trucks, managing fleets, spotting bottlenecks before they choke a operation. Now, I pour that into this 55-acre spread my father claimed in 1982, turning it into a self-reliant base with storage barns and leased rigs. The RV's my mobile office, kitted for on-site consults. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment. This story's about to shift gears. A rumble echoes from the gate, headlights piercing the dark, engines growling like they're hauling heavy. I kill the flashlight, instincts kicking in from years tracing delayed shipments. 2 tow trucks roll up, flanked by a black SUV, their hooks glinting under the moon. Harlan Voss steps out of the SUV, mid-50s AS, suit too sharp for this hour, his smirk visible even in the shadows. His 2 enforcers, khaki-clad with Silver Ridge HOA patrol badges, fan out, one radioing back. A tow operator hooks the RV's front, chain rattling loud. "Voss," I say, stepping into the light, voice level. "What's this?" He waves a clipboard. "Illegal parking on HOA land. Ford, your RV's a violation. Towing it now." My gut tightens. "This is our ranch, deed clear since '82, no HOA overlap. This is Ford property." "RV stored legal." Voss laughs, low and dominant. "Our charter says otherwise. Barns too close to the edge, non-compliant. Tows authorized." His enforcers nod, one muttering into his radio, the tow wench whining as it lifts the RV's wheels. Tension builds fast. I spot the forgery on his notice dates off, boundaries redrawn to claim our west barn as HOA turf. Hint of my logistics background slips in, "Your charter, flawed routing." Our survey proves the line. Voss steps closer, breath sharp with coffee. "Flawed? You're the one evading for it. Pay the tow fee. $2,000, 0 cents, or watch it impound." The tow operator revs, the RV jerking forward. My blood heats, but I keep composed. Years spotting supply chain weak points taught me not to react rash. The enforcers shift, one gripping his belt like he's ready for pushback. "Step aside, Ford," Voss orders, dominance thick, "or we cite obstruction." I hold ground. "You tow that, you're stealing on private land." He smirks wider. "Private? Not anymore. Charter updated. Your father's old claims expired." The RV rolls toward the gate, chains clanking. Realization hits like a derailed truck. This isn't random. Voss timed it while I was abroad, advising on a transport merger, leaving the ranch exposed. Theo, my brother-in-law, runs our fleet side. He'll be furious. They haul the RV out, taillights fading down the drive. Voss lingers, tossing the fee notice at my feet. "Pay up, Ford, or next, it's the Barnes." His SUV peels away, leaving dust and silence. I pick up the paper, vowing tactical revenge. This ranch, our base, won't fall to some HOA thug forging claims. Voss thinks towing will break us, stack fees until we sell. He's wrong. I'm buying leverage. His tow company neck. Repossess their fleet, watch him stall. The fight starts now. The fight starts now, but to win it, I need to play to my strengths. Logistics, acquisitions, turning threats into assets. That's my world. I'm Elias Ford, 46, retired logistics expert. Spent 2 decades acquiring fleets, optimizing routes, spotting weak links in supply chains before they snapped. It's not glamorous, crunching transit data, negotiating buyouts, but it's precise. Find the leverage, close the deal, move on stronger. Retired 4 years ago after a major merger payout. Cashed in and came home to direct the 55-acre Silver Ridge Ranch my father claimed in 1982. He turned barren ground into a logistics base of sorts. Storage barns for equipment, leased rigs for local hauls, a setup that runs like clockwork. Now, I oversee it all. Inventory tracked digitally, deliveries scheduled tight, every asset accounted for. Theo Ford, my brother-in-law, 38, is the key to it. He's a fleet manager in town, handles trucking for regional firms, but we're tied deep. Married to my sister, but after she passed young, Theo became like blood. The ranch operates as our family logistics base. He stores overflow rigs in the barns. I handle the acquisitions for upgrades, turning it into a shared hub that supplements his business and mine. Summers here as kids, him learning to route toy trucks while I calculated loads. It's our anchor, a place to regroup and plan. The HOA intrusion started subtle while I was abroad advising on a transport merger in Europe, merging two firms' fleets, ironing out overlaps in routes. Weeks away, and Voss struck. First notices about unauthorized vehicles on our land claiming the RV and sheds violated their codes. Theo fielded them at first, thinking it was a boundary mix-up, but they escalated quick. Backdated fines for parking infractions, threats of tows if unpaid. By the time I got back, the RV was gone, hauled under Voss's orders. My indignation boils every time I replay it. Voss's fake claims, forging inclusion in their HOA to slap on violations we never agreed to. It's not incompetence, it's calculated overreach, towing assets to pressure sales. That's where Vaughn Reed comes in. He's 34, a vlogger who's built a following uncovering logistical abuses, tow companies overcharging, HOAs weaponizing services to bully owners. We connected years back when I tipped him on a fleet scam, saved his channel from a shutdown. Owes me, and now's the call-in. Elias, he said when I reached out, this stinks of rigged tows. Let's trace the contracts. He's got contacts in transport, knows how to pull records without alarms. The ranch office feels smaller now, ledgers spread out, the weight of Voss's play pressing in. My dad's voice echoes, "Spot the weak link, Elias." He fought off grabs like this in the ADS, taught me to outsmart them. Theo's like a brother, his fleet thriving because of our base. Voss's tows aren't just theft, they're a strike at our hub. Indignation fuels me. They forged claims while I was away, targeted us to break the chain, but Vaughn's ready to expose the abuses. Theo's fleet know-how will crack their ops, and my acquisition skills, I'll turn their tow company against them. Repossess their fleet, watch Voss stall. This ranch stays ours. This ranch stays ours, but Voss isn't wasting time ramping up. By noon the next day, two enforcers pull up in a marked truck, khaki uniforms crisp, badges gleaming under the sun. The lead one, a burly guy with a clipboard, waves another notice. "Unauthorized vehicles on the east lot," he grunts. "Ranch trucks violate parking codes, $1,000, 0 cents tow fee per unit, escalating daily." I scan it quick. Fines for impound risks, threats to haul our leased rigs if unpaid by sunset. "This is our land," I say, voice level. "No violations. Deed exempts us," he smirks. "Charter says otherwise. Pay or we impound tomorrow." His partner nods, eyeing the barn where Theo stores his fleet overflow. The total spikes, $3,000, 0 cents now, with liens whispered if we drag feet. I confront Voss at the casual inquiry that afternoon, a stuffy annex room with folding chairs and a long table. He's center, suit sharp, enforcers flanking like guards. Neighbors fill half the seats, some nodding at his opener about vehicle standards. He waves forged tow logs, pages claiming our trucks as HOA violations. Timestamps backdated to 15. "Forged rigs are hazards," he says, smirking my way. I stand, projecting the 1982 deed on my tablet. "These logs are fakes, Voss. Welds mismatched, dates off, our exemptions locked." The room stirs, Mrs. Ronan frowning at the discrepancies. Voss fumbles, "Outdated nonsense. Our data confirms the infractions." I overlay the forgeries with originals, highlighting the fraud. This is manipulation to justify tows. Murmurs rise, a few heads nodding, but Voss slams the table. Inquiry closed v. stand. Back at the ranch, I check the motion cams on the vehicles, triggered sensors from my logistics days. Footage from last night shows two shadows at 2 a.m., tools glinting, tampering with the truck brakes and RV hitch we just got back. Their faces are half hidden, but khaki sleeves scream HOA. Paranoia creeps. Who's tipping them off? Are they planting trackers to stage more violations? I save the clips. Gut twisting. This isn't random. It's calculated to rack up tow fees, make operations grind to a halt. The whispers start filtering in town the next day. At the parts store, old man Ronan dodges my gaze, stacking crates. Two HOA folks by the counter lean in, loud enough. "Theo's fleet's a hazard, tied to Ford's rigs everywhere." The other nods. "Yeah, Elias is letting it slide. Bad for the ridge's safety." My hands tighten on the counter. Voss is labeling Theo a transport hazard, turning neighbors against us, painting our family base as a liability. Theo runs his management clean, but whispers like this could tank his contracts. I pay and leave, the divide clear. Lifelong folks now side-eyeing, scared of Voss's toes hitting them next. An anonymous text buzzes, "Pay the fees or Theo's rigs get hauled." My blood runs cold. Voss is heightening the pressure, using whispers to isolate us. But we're not breaking. With the cams catching tampering, Von Reed ready to expose the logistical abuses, and my acquisition plan brewing, we're set to counter. This ranch stays ours. The ranch stays ours? But Voss isn't letting up. His games to isolate us make the toes seem justified. Morning at the parts co-op confirms it. I head in for hitch pins to fix the RV spot, but the air's thick with avoidance. Old man Ronan, who's traded rig tips with Theo for years, ducks behind a shelf, pretending to check inventory. Two HOA types by the counter lean in, their voices carrying. Theo's fleet's a transport hazard, one mutters. Voss says it's tied to Ford's violations. Rigs everywhere, risking the ridge. The other nods. Yeah, Ilias is letting it slide. Bad for our roads. My hands grip the pins tight. Voss's rumors are painting Theo as reckless, our family base as a liability. I pay and leave. The divide clear. Folks who've shared our halls now look away, scared of Voss's shadow. The real fracture shows at the local session that evening, held in the community center, air stuffy with too many bodies and tension. Voss is center stage, podium like his command post, waving fake service impact assessments, charts claiming our unauthorized rigs spike road wear by 20%, hiking maintenance for all. Ford's violations cost us, he says, pointing to graphs of projected fees. The crowd murmurs, nodding, fear creeping in. Voss ties our ranch to their rising costs. Mrs. Ronan shifts uncomfortably, her eyes darting to me. His lies are landing, carving a line between us and the community. I stand mid-session, voice cutting through. Those assessments are forged, Voss. Our 1982 deed exempts us. No violations. I project the original deed on my tablet, its boundaries clear. No overlap. Your logs are fake. Check the timestamps, murmurs Ripple. Mrs. Ronan leans forward, frowning, but Voss counters, smirking. Outdated nonsense, Ford. Our data shows the hazard. Ronan Kane rises, his voice gruff but firm. I saw the tow. Voss's men hauled the RV with no warning. Ford's ranch is clean. A few nod. Mrs. Dunn, a couple of old-timers, but most stay quiet, eyes on Voss, fear holding them back. Voss slams his gavel, face tight, session adjourned. Tows continue. As we file out, Ronan catches my arm. I'm with you, Elias. That tow was a shakedown. His support's a spark, but the divide deepens. Back at the ranch, anonymous warnings flood my phone. Theo's rigs are next. Pay the fees. Ford's dodging. Voss is right. My blood runs cold. Voss is weaponizing fear, turning neighbors into echo chambers. Are they watching the barn, ready to tamper again? I show Theo the texts over a call. He's heightening the pressure, isolating us. He nods, jaw set. My traces are ready. Voss's contracts are dirty. The community's fracturing, Voss's lies turning lifelong allies into doubters. My dad's voice echoes. Spot the weak link, Elias. He taught me to outsmart predators. Voss thinks fear will break us. Paint Theo as a hazard to force a sale. He's wrong. With Ronan's courage, Von Reed's vlog primed to expose the abuses, and my acquisition skills, we're building a counterstrike. The ranch, our base, stays ours. The ranch, our base, stays ours. But to make that hold, we need to dig past Voss's whispers into the dirt. Theo's already on his way over, his fleet logs in hand, face set like he's rerouting a jammed convoy. Let's trace their service records, he says, dropping into the office chair. We start with the county databases, public portals I know from my acquisition days, where filings hide if you don't queer sharp. Theo's management savvy shines. Years optimizing truck routes make him a pro at spotting logistical loopholes. He pulls HOA tow contracts from the last 5 years, cross-referencing with official bribes disguised as service fees. By midnight, we've uncovered it. Voss wiring $40,000 0 cents to Councilman Ronan Holt, masked as consulting, right before tow overcharges spiked. These fees jump 30% after each payment, Theo points, highlighting dates. Voss pays Holt to inflate tow costs, forcing sales on violators like us. My jaw locks. It's not random, it's a system. Overcharging tows to bleed owners dry, grab land cheap. We layer in the motion cam footage from the vehicles. Last night's clips show 2 shadows at 1 a.m., tools glinting, tampering with the truck hitches to mimic violations. Their faces are half hidden, but khaki sleeves scream HOA. That's exposure, I say, saving the frames. Von Reed jumps on a secure call. His vlog's niche in logistical abuses makes him a wizard at obtaining buried emails. Send me the county IDs, he says. By dawn, Vaughn delivers. Obtain threads from Voss to Holt detailing the boundary tampering. Shift Ford's markers west. Make the rigs encroach, one reads. My blood heats. They're redrawing lines to justify tows that never should happen. Theo's discreet examination kicks in next. He's the fleet manager, skilled at reviewing contracts without raising flags. He accesses the HOA's service portal, cross-referencing with our deed. Their tow logs include our rigs since 18, he says, but the metadata's off. Entries edited post our exemption clause. Invented violations, Theo mutters, pulling server stamps showing Voss's IP, altering the database late nights. It's calculated. Fabricate encroachments, enforce tows through overcharges, stack fees until owners buckle. We compile it all. Cams showing tampering on the ranch's digital boundaries, emails proving bribes for overcharges. Theo's review exposing the altered HOA service contracts. The discovery hits around 4 a.m., a man email from Voss to a developer. Ford's tows at $5,000, 0 cents. Escalate with invented violations. Enforce through fabricated encroachments. Ranch sells cheap by quarter's end. My fists clench. He's not just greedy. It's a systematic forge, inventing violations to justify tows that pile up like fabricated debt. Reese leans back, eyes sharp, personal. Makes him predictable. I nod, the pieces locking. Overcharges funded by bribes, tampered boundaries to trigger tows, all to enforce sales. My dad's voice echoes. Spot the weak link, Elias. Voss thinks his invented violations will enforce the tows, force our sale. He's wrong. With Theo's discreet review uncovering the edits, Vaughn's obtained emails, our dossiers stacked, and Quinn's platform, we're ready to strike. This ranch stays ours, our family base unbreakable. Voss's plan is flawed, and I'm the expert to exploit it. I'm buying time. And soon, his tow company. The ranch, our base, stays ours. But Voss isn't folding yet. His next hit comes fast, a certified letter slamming into the mailbox like a bad delivery. I tear it open, seizure notice from the HOA claiming tow fees as liens against our assets, the barns, the rigs, even the leased trucks. Unpaid violations total $4,000, 0 cents, it reads. Voss's signature bold. They're not just towing, they're positioning to seize the West barns if we don't pay by week's end. My blood surges. This is escalation, turning ghost fees into a hammer on our title. I scan the legalese. It's a bluff, but calculated to panic, cloud the assets, scare off lessers. I head to the machinery shed to clear my head, but find sabotage. The tractor's fuel line slashed, wires frayed deliberate, and the rig hitches jammed with grit. My new cams? Rigged, after the vehicle tampering caught it, 3 khaki figures at 3 a.m., tools glinting under moonlight, wrecking the machinery to mimic hazards. The burly enforcer from the tow is there, his face clear in the frame. My jaw tightens. This isn't vandalism. It's targeted to ground our operations, make tows inevitable. I save the footage, paranoia spiking. Who's feeding them our layout? The fields feel watched, every shadow a potential spy. My phone rings mid-afternoon, a consulting lead from an old contact, gig optimizing a firm's fleet routes, but his voice shifts quick. Elias, Jose saying you're tangled in service smears, unpaid tows, risky for partners. Can't risk it, sorry. Click. My teeth grind. Voss's smears are hitting my side work now, labeling me a deadbeat to cut off income. I've built my rep on clean logistics, spotting bottlenecks before they bite, but he's turning it against me. Theo texts, fleet contract stalled, client's hearing, hazard from Voss's circle. The divide's deepening, Voss isolating us logistically. Tension builds through the day, whispers from neighbors filtering back from the session, avoiding eye contact, muttering about Ford's rigs, dragging down safety. By evening it peaks. Voss's SUV rolls up unannounced, gravel crunching under tires, flanked by 2 enforcers, their hands on belts, like they're itching for a fight. The air's thick with dust and heat. The ranch house porch my ground. Voss steps out, black folder in hand. "Ford!" he barks, waving it like a weapon. "Your fees are debts now. Bank's on board for seizure. Pay up or we take the West Barns tomorrow." I stand firm, the dossier folder in my hand. This is harassment, Voss. Our deed exempts us. No fees, no seizures. He laughs, low and venomous, closing the distance. "Deeds change, Ford. Your brother-in-law's fleet will impound that too. Call it connected. His enforcers shift, one eyeing the shed like he's scouting for more sabotage. Theo's truck pulls up then, him jumping out, face set. Back off our land, he says, voice steady. Boss smirks wider. Or what? Your logistics hub crumbles tomorrow? The standoff holds, the air crackling, his enforcers inching forward. My hand tightens on the folder. Voss thinks he's cornered us, fees and seizures his hammer. He's wrong. With the cams catching sabotage, Quinn's emails proving bribes, and our dossier ready, we're set to flip this. The ranch stays ours. The ranch, our base, stays ours. But to secure it for good, we need to dig past Voss's whispers into the core of his operation. Theo's already on calls with his fleet contact suppliers who've dealt with HOA tows before. Trace their service trails, I say, dropping into the office chair beside him. By evening, his network delivers. Scanned HOA budgets showing Voss siphoning funds. Service fees hiked 40% last year, but outflows to contractors that loop back to his account. Embezzlement, Theo mutters. Highlighting a $50,000 0 cents transfer masked as tow maintenance. It's systematic. Budgets padded with overcharges, drained to offshore holdings. My pulse quickens. This isn't sloppy, it's calculated, Voss pocketing to fund his grabs. I dive into the historical service deeds, cross-referencing our 1982 filing with county archives. Buried in a 1984 addendum, I find it. A clause my father negotiated with local haulers, proving ranch immunity from any HOA tows or fees locked in perpetuity. No assessments for transport, full exemption, it reads, stamped clear. Voss's invented violations are smoked, built on ignoring this. I print it, the paper heavy with vindication. My dad's foresight shielding us from predators like Voss decades later. We compile the dossier over a late dinner, the ranch house quiet but charged. Motion cam footage shows Voss's goons at 2 a.m. jamming the rig hitches, their faces clear in infrared. Vaughn Reed's obtained emails, pulled from a county server, disrupt Ford's fleet, make tows mandatory. Witness statements roll in, Ronan Kane's sworn note on seeing the tow. Aggressive and unfounded, and Mrs. Kane's account of whispers at the session. Voss called Theo a hazard, scared folks off his rigs. Theo adds his examination. HOA service contracts padded, funds embezzled to Holt's firm. The dossier's a fortress. Videos, emails, statements. The 1984 deed, a blueprint to dismantle Voss. The Grudge uncovers mid-compile in an old email from Voss to Holt. Ford's dad undercut my father's delivery bid in '82. Time to settle. My stomach twists. Back in 1982, Voss's father ran a towing service, tried to monopoly the ridge, but my dad outbid him fair, securing the exemption clause. This isn't just greed, it's revenge. Voss using the HOA to finish what his dad started. Theo leans back, eyes sharp. Personal, makes him predictable. I nod, the pieces locking, embezzlement funded by padded budgets, invented violations enforced through bribes, all tied to an old delivery dispute. My dad's voice echoes, spot the weak link, Elias. Voss thinks his grudge gives him edge, but it's his flaw, emotional sloppy. Quinn calls, voice buzzing, dossier's gold, I'll tease it on the vlog. Comments already flood his feed, expose them. But paranoia creeps. The cams caught sabotage, but what if Voss has eyes inside? I check the windows, the field's dark but heavy. Are his warnings tracking our queries? Another anonymous alert buzzes. Theo's fleet impounds tomorrow. My blood runs cold. Voss is desperate, heightening the pressure to break us before we strike, but we're ready. With Theo's traces, the 1984 deed, our dossier stacked, and Quinn's platform, we're set. This ranch stays ours, our family base unbreakable. Voss's plan is flawed, and I'm the expert to exploit it. I'm buying time, and soon, his tow company. Voss's plan is flawed, and I'm the expert to exploit it. I'm buying time, and soon, his tow company. But first, we hit the community meeting with the dossier, turning his web against him. The town hall packs tight that evening, air stuffy with tension and the faint scent of old polish from the floors. Chairs scrape as neighbors cram in, faces uneasy, caught in Voss's spin about safety standards. Voss stands at the podium, suit crisp, gavel gleaming like a false promise. His board flanks him, enforcers dotted in the crowd, their khaki badges subtle threats. Ronan Kane's in the front row, his nod steady when our eyes meet. Vaughn reads in the back, camera rolling, live streaming to millions. Theo's beside me, his laptop ready, set to demonstrate without a showdown. The crowd's mixed, some nodding at Voss's opener about vehicle harmony, others shifting from our leaks. Voss bangs his gavel, voice booming. Order! Ford's violations spike our costs. Tows are necessary for safety. Murmurs rise, swayed by his fake assessments claiming our rigs wear roads by 25%. I stand, voice cutting through like a precise route. This ranch is ours, I say, raising the 1982 deed. Voss forged logs, embezzled budgets to bribe for grabs. I flash the tablet, projecting the forged tow logs, my signature a clumsy fake next to the real deed's boundaries. Whispers ripple. Mrs. Ronan leans forward, frowning. Voss's smirk falters. Sit down, Ford, he snaps. Your claims are baseless. Tows stand. I press on, displaying Vaughn's emails. Voss bribed Councilman Ronan Holt, I say, voice hard. Overcharged tows to force sales. The screen shows Voss's words. Pump the fees on Ford. Break him. Gasps erupt, neighbors shifting. Holt in the back sweats, inching toward the exit like a cornered driver. Theo stands subtle, no fanfare, projecting his analysis of HOA service contracts. Fees inflows, mismatched with outflows. Embezzlement clear in red highlights. His budgets don't balance, Theo says, voice even, pointing to discrepancies. Padded contracts siphoned to Voss's accounts. $70,000, 0 cents gone. The crowd stirs, voices rising. That's our money. No clash, just facts. Theo's management savvy exposing the rot without a raised tone. The room crackles, neighbors arguing. Voss slams his gavel, face red as an overheated engine. Lies! Ford's a hazard. His ranch drags us down. But I'm not done. I play the motion cam footage. Goons tampering rigs at 3 a.m., jamming hitches to mimic violations. The crowd roars, some leaping up, pointing at the screen. Ronan yells, "You lied to us, Voss!" Voss's gavel freezes, his face paling like a stalled truck. The chants start. Dissolve the HOA! Vaughn's camera catches it, his vlog spiking to 12 million views. Comments flooding, end him, Ford! Voss stammers, this is a setup, but his voice drowns in the fury. Ronan stands, voice firm. I saw the tow. Voss's men hauled the RV with no warning. Ford's ranch is clean. Mrs. Ronan adds, Voss called Theo a hazard, scared us off his fleet. The crowd turns full, demanding, dissolve, dissolve! Voss denies wildly Ford fabricated it all, but allies pile on. Seth from the co-op testifies to whispers. Voss smeared the Fords to isolate them. The facade cracks. Voss's smirk gone. Sweat beading as the crowd surges, chanting louder. Vaughn's stream catches the shift, the room electric, united in rebellion. I nod to Theo, who signals the door. A county auditor, tipped by Vaughn, strides in with deputies, holding Voss's real budgets. Embezzlement confirmed, he says. HOA funds diverted to bribes. The crowd's outrage swells, neighbors demanding dissolution. Voss's board scatters, his empire shattering. The meeting ends in chaos, but our way... Voss's scam exposed, the HOA on the brink. My dad's voice echoes. Spot the weak link, I did. With Theo's analysis, Ronan's courage, Vaughn's platform, and our dossier, Voss's machine is dismantled. The ranch stays ours. Voss's plan is flawed, and I'm the expert to exploit it. I'm buying time, and soon, his tow company. But desperate players don't wait, they strike wild. Morning breaks with a news alert on my phone, headlines screaming, Ford causes HOA service failure, accusing me of sabotaging their maintenance rigs. The air's thick with coffee as I scroll. Fake reports claim a breakdown on HOA property last night, tow trucks stalled, tools missing, all pinned on me as obstruct. It's a setup. Voss staging the failure to frame me as the aggressor, risking my expert rep. Clients could bolt if this sticks. My logistics acquisitions thrive on trust, and Voss knows it. I text Theo. Voss's play rally, the dossier. Media frenzy erupts by noon, vans clogging the ranch gate, reporters shouting questions. A young one jabs a mic at me. Mr. Ford, did you obstruct HOA services? I glare, voice steady. Voss is lying. This facility is his forgery, like the toes. But the storm builds, outlets running with expert-turned-saboteur tying it to our ranch's violations. My gut twists. This could tank Theo's fleet too, partners fleeing a risky tie. I spot Sheriff Ronan Blake by his patrol car, badge glinting, his face grim but silent, trapped in Voss's grip. The accusations risk everything. My post-retirement gigs optimizing fleets rely on clean reps, and Voss is muddying mine. He's blaming me for service obstruction, twisting our exemption into a crime. I text Vaughn, push the tampering footage now. His vlog counters with our dossier clips, but the media's hooked on Voss's narrative. Paranoia spikes. Who's feeding them? I check the cams. Fresh footprints near the barn, but no clear faces. Afternoon brings the enforcers. 4 khaki figures at the gate, tools and warrants in hand. Voss's black SUV idling behind. Asset seizure order, the lead barks, waving a lean document. Your obstruction compromised HOA services. We're taking your rigs. My heart pounds, but my safeguards kick in. I'd fortified the ranch years ago. Off-grid locks on the barns with auto-elects to the sheriff and Vaughn. Try it, I say, voice level, pulling my tablet to show the trust papers. Our title's protected, no seizure valid. They advance anyway, the burly one gripping a chain cutter for the shed locks. Alarms trigger, motion sensors flood the area with lights, a silent alert pinging authorities. The enforcers hesitate, then back off as sirens wail in the distance. Voss watches from his SUV, face twisted, driving off without a word. I rally neighbors that evening over secure calls, Ronan Kane, Mrs. Kane, a few others wary but willing after the session. Voss staged that failure, I say, sharing the dossier via encrypted link. Here's proof. Forged logs, his bribes to Holt. Ronan chimes in. I overheard Voss's men at the co-op bragging about planting the breakdown. Mrs. Kane adds, Voss called Elias a saboteur, scared us off Theo's fleet. We compile more. Vaughn's emails, cam footage of the sabotage, witness notes from the session. The group's dossier grows, a counterwall to Voss's lies. Theo texts. Fleet inquiries stalled, partners hearing obstruction from Voss's circle. The divide's deepening, but our allies are solidifying. Are Voss's warnings tracking our calls? The media's still buzzing, headlines screaming, logistics expert accused of obstruction, risking my rep. Theo brushes it off, but I see the weight in his eyes. This could ground his contracts if Voss twists it right. My phone buzzes, an anonymous email. Your archives are next forward. My gut screams they're watching, maybe bugging the house. But I'm not cornered. The staged failure, the seizure attempt, the media lies, they're Voss's tools, but they're brittle. My dad's voice echoes, spot the weak link. Voss desperate, his frame-up shaky. With a dossier's proof, our neighbors rallying, and Vaughn's platform, we're set to flip this. The ranch stays ours. Voss's plan is flawed, and I'm the expert to exploit it. I'm buying time, and soon his tow company. But desperate men strike first. Morning hits with enforcers at the gate, warrants in hand, Voss's black SUV idling behind. Asset seizure, the lead barks. Your obstruction justifies it. We're taking your rigs. My heart pounds, but my safeguards kick in. Motion alarms blare, silent alerts pinging the sheriff. They hesitate, then back off as sirens wail. Voss's face twists from his SUV, but he drives away. That's my window. I spend the afternoon on calls, pulling strings from old logistics contacts. Crest Tow Services is undervalued, one says. Boards open, quick acquisition possible. By dusk, I've structured the buyout. Anonymous through a shell, funded by ranch reserves and Theo's fleet liquidity. We close by midnight, ownership mine. Theo grins over the line. You bought their tow company, Poetic Justice. I nod, the dossier updated with the papers. His fleet's mine now, repossess it, watch him stall. Dawn brings the confrontation. Voss's SUV rolls up, gravel flying, flanked by 2 tow crews. His company's rigs, hooks, ready, and 3 enforcers, hands on belts. The air's thick with dust and tension, the west barns looming behind me. Voss steps out, black folder in hand, waving a seizure writ. Ford, your evasion ends today, he barks. Obstruction proven, we're towing everything. His tow crews rev, hooks lowering toward our rig. Theo's at my side, Ronan Kane pulling up in his truck, drawn by Vaughn's tip. I stand on the porch, tablet in hand. Seizure? On what fleet? Voss smirks, closing in. Your debts to the HOE tow company's enforcing. The crews advance, one gripping a chain for the barn locks. That's my cue. I reveal the acquisition papers, projecting the buyout confirmation. Crest Tow Services is under new ownership. Mine. Your rigs? Repossessed. Voss's face drains, pale as a stalled engine. Impossible, he stammers, snatching at the tablet. The tow crews falter, eyes wide. This halts the tow, one mutters. Vaughn's already live via his vlog. Camera hidden in Ronan's truck, streaming to 14 million. I turn to it, voice steady. Folks, Voss's HOA is a fraud. Embezzled budgets, bribed officials, forged tows to steal assets. I flash the dossier. Cam footage of sabotage, emails to Holt, Theo's analysis showing skimmed fees. The crowd, neighbors alerted by Vaughn's posts, gathers at the gate, murmurs growing to shouts. Ronan steps forward. I saw the tow. Voss's men hauled the RV with no warning. Mrs. Ronan adds, Voss threatened our values. It's all lies. Voss spins, face twisted. This is a setup. Ford's the saboteur. His obstruction proves it. But I counter with the 1982 deed. Exempt from tows, your inventions are exposed. Theo demonstrates, quick, projecting HOA service contracts. Budgets drained to Voss's accounts, $90,000, 0 cents embezzled. The live feed explodes, comments flooding. Bust him! Voss lunges at Theo, but crews hesitate, their loyalty cracking. One mutters, Boss, the company's his. Voss rants wild, I'll sue. This ranch is mine. Ford's dad stole my father's bid in '82. His grudge spills, raw and desperate. Sheriff Owen Reed arrives, siren low, badge heavy, deputies flanking. Voss, stand down, he says. Von Stream catches Voss's mid-rant confession. The tows were to break him, payback for '82. The crowd roars, demanding arrest. Deputies move, cuffs gleaming. Harlan Voss, you're under arrest for embezzlement, bribery, fraud. Owen says, the snap crisp. Voss's eyes dart, desperate as they haul him away, his screams lost in the cheers. Neighbors surge forward, Ronan clapping my back. You did it, Elias. Theo and I stand on the porch. The ranch secure. Tows nullified by the buyout. Vaughn's camera pans the scene, his vlog hitting 15 million. My dad's voice echoes. Spot the weak link. I did. Bought the tow company, repossessed their fleet, exposed the rot. The ranch stays ours, unbreakable. The ranch stays ours, unbreakable. But the real shift comes in the days after Voss's fall. Morning light hits the Silver Ridge fields, the barns standing firm, no liens clouding their title. News breaks fast. Voss sentenced to 12 years for embezzlement, bribery, and fraud, his face grim on the screen as they lead him away. Councilman Ronan Holt resigns, charges piling up like stacked crates. The Silver Ridge HOA resolved by week's end, its charter revoked. Every tow fee refunded. My phone pings with a bank alert. $4,000, 0 cents back in the account, the slate wiped clean. Relief surges like a smooth route cleared. My dad's voice echoes, spot the weak link, Elias. I did. The ranch, our base, is secure again. I opened the ranch to neighbors that afternoon, a casual gathering to mend what Voss broke. The air's alive with grilled steak and hay, folks milling by the barns he once targeted. Ronan Kane hauls in a cooler of drinks, his grin wide, free of Voss's shadow. Elias, he says, clapping my shoulder, we were fools to buy his lies. Sorry for doubting you. Mrs. Kane nods beside him, her voice soft but firm. Those whispers. He had us scared, but you stood up. Others chime in. Old man Ronan admitting, thought Theo's fleet was tainted. Wrong call. The apologies come steady, restoring the peace we'd lost. The ranch feeling like a hub again, not a battleground. Theo pulls up in his truck, his fleet ledger tucked away, face relaxed for the first time in weeks. We step aside by the barn, away from the chatter. We did it, brother, he says, his hand firm on my arm. Your buyout play. Genius. I nod, the bond between us stronger, forged in this mess. We've always been close. Theo handling the fleet flows, me the big picture acquisitions. But Voss's threats tested it. Toes hitting his contracts hard. Now, with the HOA gone, Theo's business rebounds, our family base thriving. Dad would be proud, I say, throat tight. We share a quiet laugh, planning upgrades. GPS trackers for the rigs, a joint investment to buffer against future hits. The gathering swells, neighbors swapping stories over plates, the air warm with unity. Seth from the co-op claps my back. You exposed him, saved us all from those hikes. A few who whispered against us hang back at first, but apologies flow as the sun dips, restoring the ranch's peace. No more divides. Folks linger, offering help with fences, sharing tips on routes. Vaughn Reed films low-key, his vlog capturing the shift, comments pouring in. Real community win. The ranch pulses with life, our logistical bedrock solid again. Evening falls, the fields gold under the sunset, the barn's shadows long but unthreatening. Theo and I walk the fence line, his steps sure, my dad's lessons in every post. We'll add more trackers, he says. Keep it locked. I nod. Our family ties deeper, unbreakable after this. The fight cost us, lost gigs, stress, like a jammed chain. But the reward's here. Peace restored, the ranch thriving. Voss's cell is cold comfort, but his fall unites us. Neighbors drift home with full plates, new bonds forged. Ronan lingers, voice low. They might try again, he says. I nod, deed in my pocket, heavy with truth. The stars emerge, bright as my dad's eyes when he built this place. Voss's scam is buried, our hub secure. The fields hum, the ranch stands, a symbol of our strength. Theo grips my shoulder. We won, Elias. I nod, hand on his arm. I'm a logistics expert, Theo's partner, ready for what's next. The ranch stays unbreakable, but the real work is in the quiet upkeep. Theo and I walk the fence line at dawn, adding logistics monitoring systems, sensors tied to our rigs, alerting us to any unusual tows or leans. Like your merger traces, Theo says, wiring a node to the gate. I nod, the setup clean, real-time pulls from county services, flagging anomalies before they hit. We've turned the ranch into a logistical fortress, not just barns and fields, but a hub where every asset flows secure. No blind spots, Voss taught us that hard. Grandpa's teachings hit deepest in these moments. He claimed this 55-acre spread in 1982, turning nothing into a legacy with grit and smart roots. Spot the weak link, Elias, he'd say, his voice rough from years out here, showing me how to balance fleet loads on paper. Theo grew up hearing the same, summers spent learning to negotiate hauler deals. That wisdom saved us, reading Voss's patterns, buying the tow company to repossess his fleet. Our grandpa fought off grabs like Voss's dad in the ADS, outsmarting them with better bids and passed that fire to us. I feel it now, in every reinforced hitch, every secure sensor, the ranch a living piece of his vision. But threats linger, shadows on the horizon. My phone buzzes with an anonymous email. Ford won this round, we're watching. Could be Voss's old allies or a new HOA creeping in from Crestwood. The fields are calm, but my gut says they're probing, waiting for a slip. Paranoia? Maybe, but Grandpa taught readiness, not fear. We're affirmed, locked in. Theo's fleet booming again, my consulting flowing steady. The ranch stands unbreakable, our family base thriving. Ever held on to your legacy against the odds? Drop a comment. This ranch is ours and we're ready. The ranch is ours and we're ready. But readiness means reflecting on what got us through. I sit on the porch as dusk falls, the field stretching quiet under the fading light. Theo beside me testing a new sensor app. Voss's tow scam, hauling our RV, forging violations to force a sale, taught us sharp lessons on standing against service overreach. Here's the thing. It starts with a notice, a tow, something small that snowballs into control. Voss used fake logs, bribed officials, tampered boundaries to justify hauls that bled folks dry. We didn't break because we traced the trails early, dug into contracts, spotted the embezzlement, flipped his tools against him. Lesson 1, don't ignore the paper. Pull deeds, cross-check filings. Mismatches in dates or padded fees are cracks to exploit. Overreach, feeds on silence. Question every claim, find the leverage before it tightens. What this really means is service overreach. Like rigged tows or inflated fees, thrives on division and doubt. Voss spread rumors, turned neighbors against Theo by calling his fleet a hazard, but we rallied who mattered. Ronan, who saw the truth. Build your circle early, allies who'll testify share proof, and protect your rights like they're the axle, because they are. If enforcers show up or fees stack, document everything: cams, logs, witnesses. Use public tools, vlogs, filings, to expose the rot. We won by staying calculated. Theo's discreet reviews uncovered the hidden outflows. My buyout turned their tow company into our weapon. Stand firm but smart. Spot the weak link, strike where it counts. Encourage you to do the same. Don't let HOAs or services rewrite your ground. If tows hit or claims feel off, dig in. Trace the money, rally support, fight with facts. Your land, your legacy. It's worth the grind. Ever stood against overreach and flipped the script? Share your stories below. Your fight might gear up the next one.